I help see them. I help remind them. I help explain to them, hey, your brain's here. Your body's here. Kids are the best for this because they get it. Adults make things so much more hard than they need to be. It's simple. You want to remember what life's about? Go out there and watch those kids in the little corn container. That there is an intelligence inside of you that is always trying to thrive. It is adapting to whatever physical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress you throw at it. It's trying to adapt and self-correct.
Hey, Holistic Hilda here. I bring you experts, experiences, and epic adventures to boost your health. Not too long ago, I had an event on Joel Salatin's farm called How to Thrive and Not Just Survive, and I invited my friend Devin Vrana, a chiropractor from Kansas, to speak. She's the one that inspired this look. So she had a lot of important things to say about how to thrive in these times, including finding something to anchor us so that we don't go flitting around in the storm and the chaos of life. She talked about returning to playfulness, having that kind of joyful, childlike curiosity and spirit, and also how to find our voice. Again, we need to be strong in these tumultuous times. Check out our talk and let me know what you think.
So I need everybody to stand up because I know if you ate, your body's doing all kinds of things, and we go from sitting to sleeping very quick. And I need you in your bodies, in your hearts, in your minds, and to remember why you came here, because you could be anywhere. We live a life of choice, and sometimes we just go through motions, and every once in a while we realize I'm the creator of my reality. I am the master of my destiny, and you're choosing to be here instead of anywhere else. We might as well be all here, but it's different for everybody. So if you'll just take a second, close your eyes, and put your hands on your heart for a second. And take those big, deep breaths that Hilda was teaching us how to do. Why are you here? Why are you here under this hoop house? Why are you here in Virginia? Why are you here on planet Earth? You can answer this question as big or as small as you choose. Why am I here? You have a story that brought you here. You have a family and a community who needs you now more than ever. Take a second to appreciate how few places and spaces there are like the one we're standing in right now. How many places you can go without a covering on your face where you can share the smile that God has given you to spread the light and hope from your heart to someone else's. Where you're encouraged to hug and to high five and to laugh and to feel and embrace life in its bigness instead of distancing away from it. You're here. And you will take from this experience and from this life whatever you choose. It will not be spoon-fed to you. You will have to go and get it. And it's worth working for. It is your choice to survive or to thrive. So take a big, deep breath. Open your eyes and just look around for a second. Men and women that also could be anywhere from wildly different walks of life. No two remotely the same. This is our family for a day, and we'll talk about this event, but unless you were here, you could never understand. Try to describe Polyface Farms to someone who hasn't been there. I'm from Kansas. I grew up on farms with my friends. I can't describe this place like we feel it. So be in every precious moment for the rest of this day if you can. Now we'll christen it with a hug. Grab somebody and give them one of those awkward, hold me kind of hugs. Hang on to them. Be the weirdo that's like, oh, I just want to feel you. Guys, I could cry, right? And if we aren't moved to tears at the state of a world where that is being punished, I don't want to wage war on that. I don't want to teach people or yell at them or reprimand them or shame them. I just want to help people remember. Remember who they are. Remember what they're made of, and remember what makes us thrive. And one thing you can do without a single word is hug somebody. Hug somebody. So when you go home and you go into the next week, I'm sending you all on a hug challenge. Feel free to tag me on social media if you want to. And let's spread some joy around this planet. Give them your whole heart, and you don't have to say a word. Now you can sit if you want to. I'm going to make you stand back up, by the way. So who am I? What an interesting question. I'm a girl from the heartland, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, right? What's in Kansas? There's no place like home. I am a wife, and I'm a mother of 5. I have 2 sets of twins, so a couple times in my life I was wider than I was tall. And I like to grow them in pairs. 2 of them are here with me. My 10-year-olds just turned 10, Jagger and Knox, and they're the why, right? They're why I'm here. Because one day we'll reflect on this time, and I will have to look them in the face, and I will have to look at my grandbabies in the face, and when they say, Lala, like, what'd you stand for? What'd you do when the world fell on its head? I said, I threw parties. I hugged people. I went crazy, loving on humanity. I will be able to look at them and say, I gave everything I had. And then one day, when I go home to meet my maker, I'll get to say the same thing. And when you live with that kind of purpose and that kind of passion, I can't go back. Once you feel that electricity in your body, and I'm a chiropractor, so I'm kind of like an electrician, right? And make sure that the nerve interference is removed from the brain to the body so that your body can work as optimally as possible. We stack a lot of stuff inside our systems. No pressure, but who here sees a chiropractor? Amen. I could have guessed, because if I'm amongst free people, you understand that your power is not something that I give you. Your power will never be something that a pill gives you. Quite frankly, and I say this with the most humble heart, it's not something that food gives you. It's your intelligence in your body that came from whatever creator or maker you choose to name. It's choice. So I'm, as a chiropractor, faced with an opportunity not to fix people because I don't think they're broken. I help see them. I help remind them. I help explain to them, hey, your brain's here. Your body's here. Kids are the best for this because they get it. Adults make things so much more hard than they need to be. It's simple. You want to remember what life's about? Go out there and watch those kids in the little corn container. You come tell me when the last time is you felt joy like that. We forget. We forget, and we chase all these big shiny things, and we just forget. So I help people remember. And it's energy, right? Because we're all different. We look different, but we feel different. There's a vibration about us, and that, I was pre-med. It was never going to happen, but I wanted to help people since I was a little girl, and I was a single mom putting myself through college, and I was a couple months away, and I'm like, I hate drugs. I hate the way they make me feel. I don't want to prescribe them. I don't want to chase symptoms. And I pass out at the sight of blood. So surgery's probably not for me either. What am I going to do? Because I prepared this whole time. I'll go shadow a dentist. Again, Weston A. Price, I have more power to you. I couldn't have done it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't it either. And so I kept calling, knocking on the doors. And if you knock on doors long enough, eventually the right one opens. But you have to seek before you can find. And I didn't want a job. I never wanted a job. I had this beautiful baby boy, and it was me and him out on an adventure. And I'm like, man, we got to make a difference in this world. And I bartending, waited on a chiropractor, rest is history. Then I lost function of my right hand in chiropractic school. Guess what you need for chiropractic? Your hands. I couldn't take tests. I couldn't feel anything. My hand was stuck in this claw. So I went to the chiropractors in the school. I went to a doctor. I went to a physical therapist. No one could help me. And my husband's roommate was like, hey, I'm training for acupuncture. You mind if I stick you with a few of these needles? And I'm like, oh, my God, I hate needles, but whatever. Please. I'm weeks in going, my hand has to come back to life at some point. He put in 3 needles, and an hour later, my hand was back to full function. My life wasn't the same. So you got to tell me what that was. He said, you're made up of energy. There's an electrical system in your body. Well, depending on where you are in the world, that is referred to in 100 different ways. There's prana, there's chakras, there's chi, there's chiropractic, there's acupuncture. But they all root back in one truth, and that is that you are powerful beyond measure. That there is an intelligence inside of you that is always trying to thrive. It is adapting to whatever physical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress you throw at it. It's trying to adapt and self-correct. And sometimes it needs help. And that's where I think I finally come in. Because I didn't want to be a doctor that told people how to live. It doesn't work. Look at where we're at. We are sicker than we've ever been. You need reminded of the urgency at which we need to spread truth and hope in this world. Go read the statistics of children in our country. The autoimmune issues, autism, allergies, asthma. Our kids are sicker than they have ever been. And whether that's your child, it's going to be the world they grow up in. So we have to spread information every single chance that we get because the world is worth fighting for them. So what I feel like my journey has led me on is a gatherer of sorts. I just like to learn and listen and feel, and everywhere I go, I'm trying to soak up something from somebody because they have a different story than me. So I've packed in a few activations for you because here's the thing, you can't always go to the chiropractor unless you're like Lexi here, who's my patient all the way from Wichita, Kansas, who came here, right? A mama bear herself, alone traveling for the first time in 11 years. Any moms out there feel that one? Right? By the way, with that, women, stand up for a second. Can you guys love on them with some clapping? Ladies, look around and feel that, receive that, let the good vibes pour in. Now, how many of you are mothers? You've grown humans. Some of you will become mothers. You are literally superhuman. You are a portal for life from where? Where's it come from? We don't even know. You take 2 cells and you grow humans. Now, could any of you shout out what the last year has been like to be a woman, to be a mother in the time we're living in? Hard. Exhausting. Overwhelming. Heartbreaking. Anybody feel that? And men, I know you do too. But there's a feminine energy that needs to come into this planet. And I met with Zach Bush last week with a friend of mine, and he said, you know what I'm waiting on? I'm waiting on the women. I'm waiting on the mothers and the grandmothers to storm the gates and say, enough, enough, not me, not mine, no more, thank you. We're going to go that way. The masculine energy, not men, but this push and force and strive and do and be is exhausting and has been for a while, and it's not working. So women, you know what we got to do to set it right? Just be us and put down the guilt or shame of trying to do it all right, because you never will. Never, ever, 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 ever. You want to change the world, love on mothers. Build them up and say thank you. One more round of applause for the women. I have 4 sons, and I have a husband that I adore. So it's not a feminism thing. It's my medicine to the world. I understand that God moved through me to raise humans. The way I serve my sons, the way I serve my husband is to bear some of the weight of this time, to raise my voice, to say enough, to restore the feminine energy, the Mother Earth. Guys, look around. The world needs more Polyface Farm to remember who we are and what we come from and how simple it is. We make simple so hard. And so I'm going to take the different nuggets that I've learned, whether I was studying in China, studying Chinese medicine and acupuncture and qi and how it moves through the body, and I'm going to collect some chiropractic things and some mothering things, because I have failed a lot. Pretty much on a daily basis, ask these two. They'd tell you, except, they'd probably, I hope, say some good stuff too. But nobody gives you a manual. I have no idea what I'm doing during this time. 2020 did not come with a manual. And if it did, it's not the one I'm following. But it's rooting us back up. It's not more talking, it's more listening, Hilda. It's not more doing, it's more breathing. It's not more hustle, it's more flow. It's more feminine, it's more healing. So I want to talk about how you can do that. So I've got 7 little steps, and we're going to make them as fun as possible. So if you're an adult, I need you to call out the inner child within you to play with this as much as possible, because like Joe Dispenza and countless other neurologists would say, the way you fire and wire in the brain is to move it, feel it, use it. You can write it down, but we pretty much forget close to 80% of the things we learn in settings like this by the time we go back home. But if you move it, if you repeat it, it's going to fire and wire into your brain, and you get to take it home. Number 1, anchor. Say anchor. Stomp your foot. Anchor. Now I want you to close your eyes, put your hands on your heart again, because all the answers you ever need are in there. They're not out here, and they're certainly not from me. They're in your heart. So I'm going to ask you, what is your anchor? What is your anchor? In the storm, when the wind is howling, when the rain is coming and it is chaos at every turn, what do you anchor to? How do you plant your foundation? Because no one can anchor to an unanchored mind. You will blow with every wind that comes your way if you don't figure out how to anchor to something bigger than you. Anchor to the earth. Anchor to God. Anchor to family, anchor to joy, anchor to hope. It is very easy if we flip on a TV or if we come, even traveling here in the airports, I am triggered about 3,000 times in the short hours that I have to be in those places. It's maddening, but I have an anchor. For years, I've been wanting to help humanity wake up and remember. Well, did I think that was going to be easy? To dismantle all of our systems? No, it's going to be uncomfortable. I know my anchor. I know who I am. I know where I come from. So when you feel triggered, without a word, one of the ways you can activate into your nervous system and set yourself back at ease is your anchor. It's joy. It's hope. It's love. I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. So whatever this is, it must be something. If I'm in it, it's because I chose to be here during this time. I know my anchor. And I'm not willing to pull it up for anything. Remember your anchor. Second, you guys got to stand back up. Because it's a neurological thing. You're tired. And if you're hurting for any reason, just come get me. I'll adjust you. Second one is I want you to play. Say play. Come on, you got to get the hips going. We were talking sensual and those family things. Say play, right? We have forgotten how to play. So I'm going to teach you one from China. This is from Master Wan, a Qi master who learned how to move energy through his body. And when he would get stressed, he said, you Americans, there's 2 things about you. You're angry and you're sad. Why are you so sad? Why are you so angry? He said, enough, lighten up. And I forget, because there's always something to do. The to-do list gets longer, so he taught us a movement while we were there. So we're going to activate one of Hilda's tools. The bounce, right? Feel good? Let your shoulders go with it. I saw a couple in the back that was doing this earlier. You can do that. Let it go. Let your knees go. Let your hips go. Now we're going to get funky with it. Bring your hands up. He called it his kangaroo, right? Now face somebody while you're doing this. Try to look them in the face. Last part, stick your tongue out and go, Chinese medicine. Because with hugs, what just happened? Did the energy in this tent just change? Did the energy in you just change? Why? Movement and laughter and play. Do not take yourself too seriously. We're all going to die. Not my favorite thing to talk about. And has anyone here had the divine privilege of holding another human's hand while they take their last breath? Is it something you could forget if you tried? All of a sudden, there's life, and then there's just a body. I'll never forget. I had the privilege of watching 4 of the closest people in my life transition over the period of like 5 years. One of them being my mother while I was pregnant with my last set of twins. And it was the most heartbreaking moment and the most freeing all at once. Because all of a sudden, I was taught in a whole new way, like, wow, first of all, we should be really freaking grateful for every minute that we're here. Because we never, ever know when we won't get another one. And number 2, what is that life force? I remember watching her in her home that I grew up in go, like she saw something. And I'll probably chase that the whole rest of my life until I take my last one and I get to see her again. But here I was growing two humans, saying goodbye to another one. And in the course of a few months, I watched her take her last breath and then my daughter take her first. Wow. Right? And it was the most painful months of my life. My daughter came in the world perfectly, no epidural. I mean, it was one of those like euphoric birth moments. And then my last son played some tricks on me, or I was exhausted, I don't know, and I had an emergency C-section. So I got to heal both ways. But physically and emotionally, as broken as I feel like a human could be. If there's more broken, I don't want to know. Not in this lifetime. But it taught me so much. And in reflecting, I realized how much of my life I have been so serious. And the gift is in the joy. The gift is in the play. The gift is in the laughter. That's why I brought these boys, because they can't learn from these experiences from home. So I can't come home to my babies, and I am as rooted as I could be, but I like to be wild and free as well. So I want to spread my wings, and I want to take them to these places, and they bring so much joy. So find children when you forget. Find ways to activate the play inside you and do that kangaroo dragon every chance you get, because it works every time. Go in the airport next time, like with everybody with masks on and like, right? I feel like we'd be on to something. We could start a movement. So that's, say it, play, right? So you got to hula hoop, dance, play, create, activate. They call it the sacral chakra. It's all about pleasure and joy and creativity. It is very, very locked up, particularly in women. Because we do, and we're always giving, but you can't give what you don't have. So women, go get a weighted hula hoop, and it might just change your life. I'm serious. Third one is shine. Say shine. Shine. I want you to think Care Bear, right? Like where they like stand there and they just have this glowing energy coming out of them. The recipe for health. Countless hours, countless dollars, countless minutes and moments spent in spaces like this seeking what's the truth. Turns out there's lots of versions of that. But as simple as I can take it down, get bad stuff out, put good stuff in. That's as easy as I could make it. Steve Campbell with Redmond's Clay and Salt did a podcast with him. He talked about this. You just detox all the nastiness out. Guys, we can't fix the chemtrails. Not today. We can't make all the GMOs go away, at least not today. We're working on it, but that's going to take time. Healing takes time. So what can we do in the meantime? Take the bad stuff out and put the good stuff in. What should I eat? Does this bring me life or does it siphon life? That's in the Bible. That's how they write that's how Jesus determined what he was going to eat. Was this food life-giving or life-siphoning? That's as simple as I have learned how to navigate what I eat. I came from a very Hispanic family. You've seen my big fat Greek wedding. Now just make it Mexican. And that's pretty much what growing up was like. And food was our love language. And it was all the wrong things. But the amount of love in that food, I have been at some healthy functions with no joy. And I'm not going to lie, I take my big fat Mexican family. Because there was so much vibration in what my grandmother made for me and showing me how to cook and the methods that she did. I mean, so I think there is the nutrient talk, and then there's how we prepare for food, and there's how we pray over food, and there's a frequency there too. Now, if you're feeling down and your energy, number one thing I hear in my office is I'm tired. It's actually not pain. A lot of people come in with headaches and back pain, but root under that, they're exhausted. They're exhausted from the trajectory of the life that brought them to my table. So we just got to change something. We just got to change one thing today, and then one thing tomorrow, and then one, you just work on the one. So look at your life and just make a list. What is siphoning my energy? What's stealing energy from my body, from my heart, from my mind? It's got to go. Now, what brings me energy in my body, in my mind, in my heart? I need to add more of that. And you inventory it. Once a week, once a month, do an internal check. There is no doctor that knows how you feel on the inside. My favorite quote, the doctor of the future is the patient. I believe all doctors need to disrupt the way we even play the game and sit eye to eye, heart to heart, and I am here to help guide and support, but I don't lead you. I don't choose for you. I help shine light where there's dark spaces. I give you a safe space in the storm. But at the end of the day, it's you and you. And so if you need to shine, you're going to have to be the one that gets honest with you and says, no more of that. And I want more of that. And that's as easy as I can make that one. Now, the game changer of all game changers, just give your heart a little tap, tap. It's love. It's always been love. That's what you're really feeling in the hugs and in the laughter. Marianne Williamson wrote a book, Return to Love. Based off that's funny that those bells just played when that's... Course in Miracles would say that's no accident. It's love. And the way we access love is we forgive all the people it feels hard to forgive. Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci. If we are one, then I am one with them. And if I hate them on some level, I hate myself. It's oneness. And love is hard sometimes. Anybody married? Right? Isn't it easy? All the time. It's work. I mean, we've been married 10 years, and we got a long way to go, but there's a lot of forgiveness. 2 key activators for love: forgiveness and gratitude. Trade your expectations for appreciations. When I am really mad at my husband, I name him in my phone Sexy Joe because, like, no matter what, I have to read it and go, he's pretty sexy. Okay, I like him. Hello. Like, I had to give myself, sorry, boys. But I have to get grateful because he's a good man. And he's my man. And I have to get in a state of gratitude. Same thing in my practice. The patient, I have a few, God bless them, that just, man, they make me work. And I have to get really grateful for the opportunity that God sent them to my office to get to dance through their health journey with them. And like I said, we were walking around Washington, D.C. the other night. Need a list of trigger? I had plenty come up. But we're in a healing experience. Scabs and cuts are nasty. Broken bones take time to heal. And that is the state of our world currently. And me being angry about it isn't going to fix anything. So I, on a regular basis, make a list of the people that I am angry at, that I feel like I couldn't forgive if they were sitting in front of me. And I close my eyes and I say a prayer. And I pray for them. And I give gratitude for what I'm learning from the other side of the fence that they're sitting on. And then I'm put back in my state of love. Guys, we're not even halfway through this thing. Whatever you want to call. And I am so grateful to Corona and all her many blessings. She has activated so many things on this planet. And it wouldn't have the whole world's attention if God didn't have big plans for us in this. But we're in it, and the only way out is through. And we get to choose our experience. And I choose love. I choose forgiveness. I choose gratitude, even on the hardest days. And that's why when Hilda's like, will you come? It's like, heck yes, I want to be around people that vibrate in that kind of energy because they are the hope. You are the hope. It's your love and your laughter and your hugs that give me hope where I can go back home and look at my other 3 kids and go, all right, world's in good hands. It's all going to be okay. I don't know how long it's going to take, but we're going to get there. And events like this remind me of that because they bring me back to love. One more time. On the hard days, just tap your heart. It'll be a little Dr. Devin hug. Couple more, I'll fly through them. You have this thing. What's this? The aerial. What is this? It's your voice. Hold your throat for a second. Feel the vibration. Just make a few noises so you can feel the vibration of your voice box. Do you know how many circuits are going crazy in your brain to activate your ability to speak? Don Miguel Ruiz in the 4 Agreements says, be impeccable with your word. Not say whatever you want. Be impeccable with your word because your word either sends out white magic or dark magic. Be impeccable with your word. That goes back to this. I try to root my voice in my anchor. So when I want to say all the things, when I'm getting ready to do a really nasty post, and sometimes I slip and I do. Leslie over there, my girlfriend, she's seen it. But I try. Because this voice, this story, no other human on the planet has lived what I've lived. It becomes my responsibility. If I have been gifted a truth, like the power that made the body heals the body, if I have been gifted truth that we are powerful beyond measure, if I have been gifted a truth that's changed my life, it becomes my responsibility to share it. So I hope you can make a commitment to take a couple things that you've learned this weekend and take them to somebody. You have power in your story. You want to change the world. Start with the person right in front of you. Tell them what you learned this weekend. And you could vomit all over them, but just pick a few things. Because it's a lot. And you never know. You never, ever, ever know how far-reaching it will be. I had a mom come in my practice, and I had gone on a tangent about believing in when, all else fails and expecting miracles and staying hopeful. And she came back in to share that she had been diagnosed with a really aggressive cancer. And she didn't share it that day. She didn't actually share it with anybody. She went and had the tumor cut off, and she was in a great deal of fear. But she spontaneously healed. And she said, that moment where you just helped me remember. And I'll be totally honest, until she brought it up, I forgot we had that conversation. Because sometimes spirit just moves and I say stuff and I'm just like I'm just a vessel. My voice is a vessel. And I just trust the God that moves through me. What does this person need? It's not about me, it's about you. And to take a woman and just speak light into her, I had no idea what happened in that moment. But when she came back and wrapped her arms around me and said, "You saved my life. You set the tone for what I was going through that day." And it was like, anything you think is really tiny, you have no idea where that lands or what people are going through. So be brave, especially in times like this, and speak up. Speak up. Use this voice that you have been given. So remind yourself, when it feels hard to speak up, find a way. The next thing, I want you to tap right between your eyes. Anybody know what's in there? That's a third eye. I love hearing that. Pineal gland. We have 2 eyes to see and 1 eye to know. So this idea of the third eye is this intuition, this inner knowing. It's the space of meditation that it activates within us. This is your activation. When the world gets crazy, close your eyes and just tap and ask your questions inward. What is this? Why is this happening? What am I supposed to be learning here? This is the space of curiosity. This is divine, all of it. The mess is beautiful, and we're going to understand one day. I don't know how long it's going to take, but we'll get there because I'm anchored in that faith that there's only one way all this pans out. And it's light and love and healing and prosperity like we've never known. And sometimes I just have to go, why? What is the mask? What are you trying? How can I look at this differently? And so now when I see masks for me, I just have to say, okay, challenge accepted. Like I need to help my practice understand the immune system better so that they feel more empowered wherever they go. I don't want to live in a state of war. So I have to change the way I see things, because how we see one thing is how we see all things. You have a set of beliefs that you see this world in. If you're angry, you got to get real with you about why are you so angry about all of this? And how can I see this differently? It's changed everything. When I got curious again, Zach Bush, Joe Dispenza, some of the people I revere the most, they say get curious and everything else follows. Take what you think you know that you know that you know and ask to go deeper. And then the last thing, I'm going to have you stand back up. This last activation is called trust. So if you just look up at this sky that is on the other side of this tent, and we see that light pouring through. I venture to guess a lot of you believe in God. Yes? Do you trust God? How much? When I feel like I'm crumbling or breaking, I come to that pose and I just look up. And sometimes it's the sun, and sometimes it's the moon, and sometimes it's the stars. But I have to remember how tiny I am, not just in stature, but just a speck of dust. And how big it is that in 1 in 400 trillion, I believe it was, that the odds of me being me, that my dad's, and my mom and like the thing, and it's nothing any of us want to think about, but it happened. And then 2 cells inside of her became me. And I learned to talk and walk and hug and gab, and I haven't stopped. I also got the marks on my report card that I talk too much, and I haven't stopped since. But I'm here, and it's a gift. And I don't know how many breaths I get in this body, so I'm going to make the most of it. And I trust you wherever you take me. And that's how I can stay rooted no matter what storm is coming my way. And it's how I can feel like I'm flying above all the mess. I hope that between the anchor and the play and remembering you to shine the light that only you can shine from you, and tapping back into love and raising your voice and finding a new way to see things, and ultimately being in a state of trust with this amazing planet and universe that we are in and on. I hope something in that serves you well in the days to come. I am so grateful for this moment. And if I can ever do anything for any of you, I mean it. Give me a shout.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Comment below your favorite part of what Devin had to say. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for watching. Hasta pronto.